Indian diplomats in Pakistan are facing harassment from Islamabad. Two officials who are in the know of the development have confirmed this piece of news to World is One. All Indian government sites have been blocked in Islamabad. Their internet has been cut off. New residences are not given basic connections. These diplomats are being harassed for the last 2 weeks. India has lodged a strong protest against the incidents of harassment of diplomats. And to understand the details of the story a little better, we're now being joined by our principal diplomatic correspondent Siddhant Sibal and our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik. So, Siddhant, let's take it across to you first. Talk to us, what exactly is the Indian establishment saying? It's clearly not the first time and certainly will not be the last time that Pakistan chooses to harass Indian diplomats.
Well, it's clearly not first time this year. The harassment of Indian diplomats is back in Islamabad. Earlier this year, we saw how Indian diplomats were being harassed. And in March, we saw more instances coming into light. And after that, on 30th of March, both Islamabad and New Delhi gave a press release which said that there will not be any harassment. But again, Islamabad has violated that and harassment of Indian diplomats have begun. Internet is being cut, as you have already mentioned. Indian government sites are being blocked. There is no gas collection sometimes. Electricity is shut down sometimes, and even there is hostile reception of the guests who are coming there. But one incident stands out truly is of the 10th December. On that day, an intruder tried to barge into the house of an Indian diplomat. India has taken the incident very seriously and has taken up with Islamabad. But India knows that this is expected to continue, even though Pakistan in March agreed that it will not happen. Two things govern the relationship: the diplomatic mission, the protection of diplomatic missions in India and Pakistan, the respective missions. One, of course, is the Code of Conduct of 1992, and the other is the Geneva Convention on diplomatic and consular immunity. But the main pillar of this entire interaction is the Code of Conduct of 1992. Clearly, Pakistan again violating it and is not changing its stance.
Right, Siddhant Sibal, our principal diplomatic correspondent, getting us that update from India's capital, New Delhi. Siddhant, stay with us. We also have Anas Malik joining us here on the broadcast. Anas, talk to us. What exactly is the Pakistani establishment saying? How is it defending this kind of treatment to Indian diplomats?
Well, Krishna, we're yet to hear the official version from the Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs on this, but what we can confirm that the Indian government has indeed lodged a very strong protest on each of the events in written to the Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs. A note verbal and a protest note has been sent to the Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs, notifying them individually about these events. Now, if I can just walk you through to the events, the guests who go to diplomat's house, Indian diplomat's house, precisely, I myself has faced harassment by the Pakistani security officials. At Wagah, the day Hamid Nihal Ansari was being repatriated as well, I myself was also barred from meeting the Indian High Commission officials. We were told that, quote unquote, that they are troubled by the security officials over there at the Wagah border on the Pakistani side, immigration counter. In addition to that, on the 12th of December, just this month, at an event in Islamabad's F7 area, at a diplomat's house, the electricity was cut off and the guests were made to have food. It was an event. It was a hugely widely organized event. There were about 60 to 65 participants, and the guests were made to have food in emergency light. So these type of intimidation tactics that have been happening over the time with the Indian diplomats. Now, in February earlier this year, we saw that the diplomats were being chased, were being filmed. Their families were being harassed, despite of the fact that the Pakistani Foreign Secretary Tahmina Janjua met Indian High Commissioner Ajay Bisaria. She assured that these harassments will be stopped, yet they're not coming to an end. Yes, Krishna.
And things haven't been exactly hunky-dory, Anas, diplomatically between India and Pakistan, and especially with all the politics surrounding the Kartarpur Sahib corridor recently. And now comes this particular, and this is certainly not going to go down well, at least even if it is between the Indian High Commission and the Pakistani High Commission. This sends a larger signal to bilateral ties between India and Pakistan, which just refuses to break this negative cycle.
Well, by and large, if you look at it, at the larger picture, this sends that clear message in between Pakistan and India that come what may, the civilian structure or the civilian bureaucracy is willing to talk, contrary to how it would be among the security establishments, and that is the acts that have been happening in Islamabad are clearly an indication to that come what may, whatever the civilian side has to say, the security establishment, the security apparatus is certainly not in agreement to the civilian side, and therefore it is continuing these intimidation tactics that are certainly are going to be of no good between Pakistan and India diplomatic relations. Yes, Krishna.
And Anas Malik, our Pakistan Bureau Chief, getting us that perspective on this latest front that has opened up by Pakistan against India. Thank you, Anas, for joining us.